Welcome to part 2 of the Leroy Basics Guide. This part will be going over some basic strategies and core elements of Leroy's game. As always, this is not fully comprehensive. Tekken is a deep game, so there will always be more to discover. Also a reminder that I create written versions of all these guides, and I update them whenever information is incorrect or outdated. So a link to that is in the description below. With that, let's talk some Leroy. Simply put, fundamentals are the basic components of a game. For Tekken, we're talking about spacing, punishing, poking, mid-low mix-ups, wall pressure, and so on. Despite the nerfs, Leroy is still a strong character because he has all of the tools necessary for a strong fundamental game. It's impossible to be totally comprehensive here, but we can give a few examples. First, he has a really good down forward 1 with follow-ups for mid-poke pressure. Down forward 3 and forward 3 also serve as good fast mid pokes. For longer range, he has tools like standing 3, forward 4, both of which also have good string follow-ups. He's got solid low pokes like down 2, down back 4, down 4, and down 3. And his jab strings, which we'll discuss in a few moments, are really strong as well if you simply want to jab harass. You want approach moves? Try forward 1+2, running 3, or forward 3. Want power hitters? Add down 1+2 and up forward 2 to that list. Counter hit tools? No problem. Have back 1, back 1+2, down back 4, full crouch down forward 1, or again down 1+2. How about some whiff punishers? Here you have down forward 2 1+2 and forward 2. In fact, block or whiff, his punishers are good all around. Knockdown sweep, down back 3 1+2. We already mentioned a bunch of moves that crush, well why not an orbital to round that out? Or perhaps up forward 3 for a safe, low crushing wall splat. Want a nasty sidestep move? Sidestep 4. Nasty power crushes? Got those too. Special grounded moves? Yep. Parrys? Of course. How about a unique once a match move? Why not? The tools are endless. Really, the only subpar part of his game are his throws because he only has the normals and a single 1+2. But that's one of the few things in the game you don't need if you have a good assortment of lows and mix-up tools, which he has. He's also a quick character in that a ton of his moves are I-16 or faster. Factor in that he's a smaller size character and you have a well-rounded character with stupidly good risk versus reward. In addition to the standard 1-2 combo, Leroy also has 1-1, a safe high mid. Quick high mid strings are incredibly valuable in Tekken because of how common it is for players to try to read a high and duck and while standing punish. 1-1 is not a natural combo, but if the second hit connects counter hit, the full string is guaranteed. Note that 1-1 1+2 is not safe, cannot be confirmed, and doesn't jail, but it serves as a good check against buttons. Regardless, 1-1 is a great string and gives +2 on hit. Beyond that, 1-2 has 3 follow-ups. 1-2-1, 1-2-3, and 1-2-4. 1-2-1 and 1-2-3 are both safe but end high. 1-2-3 for the most part is better in every way than 1-2-1. It's faster, has more range, the last hit is guaranteed if the second jab hits counter hit, and it does more damage while also wall splatting. 1-2-1 is useful mostly for a timing mix-up since it can be delayed. 1-2-4 is a natural combo and mid-ender that automatically goes into Hermit. You cannot block in Hermit, and 1-2-4 is -9 on block, so it's a bit risky if it's not a punish, although his back 2 parry is I3, so you can still parry anything that is 12 frames or slower, even if 1-2-4 is blocked. All of this, of course, is just window dressing. The goal is to freeze your opponent with the follow-up threats, and if they don't respect them, then the counter hits will hurt. Speaking of strings, let's talk about string pressure, and be sure to keep his jab strings in mind here. 1+2, 1+2-1 is probably his strongest and most well-known string. It's a natural combo and 1+2 is I-14, so it's his strongest 14 frame punish. 1+2, 1+2 is safe and jails, so if any of the punches connect, your opponent is stuck there until he's done. It also has good pushback. 1+2, 1+2, 1 is punishable, but can be delayed a bit, which makes it an easy thing to confirm if you hit with 1+2, 1+2. It also wall splats. Forward 3, 1+2 and while standing 3, 1+2 are very similar. They're safe, they jail, and the last hit can be confirmed, albeit it's slightly more difficult than 1+2, 1+2. The knee into the machine gun punches is also NCC, not NC, but the knee is a good mid poke, so the 1+2 just gives it more versatility and reward. Unfortunately, no wall splat for the last hit. Beyond that, down forward 1 is simple but effective. Both down forward 1-1 and down forward 1-4 are natural combos. Down forward 1-4 goes into Hermit automatically, the same situation as 1-2-4. Down forward 1-4 is mostly a check for people trying to duck down forward 1-1, but again, because follow-ups exist, you can simply stop at down forward 1, take the mental frames, and do something else. Forward 2-3-4 is another favorite. Forward 2-3 is a natural combo and only -10 on block. The 4 does chunky damage and can be delayed, so the -10 is mostly bait to get people swinging. It's also guaranteed if the 3 hits counter hit. It automatically goes into Hermit, and it's +8 on hit, -6 on block. Pushback is good enough that you can still use the Hermit sidestep to evade stuff like jabs, so you can still play defensive mind games. Lastly, he's got a bunch of strings for baiting people into eating a counter hit somewhere, all of which offer good reward while also being solid pokes. Down forward 3-1, 1+2, down 1-2-4, down 2-4, full crouch down forward 4-1, 2-1, 2-1, etc. So we're only going to talk about back 2 and the Hermit auto parry here since they're the most important. Back 2 has a 3-frame startup as mentioned earlier and parries any mid or high, including elbows, knees, and so on. The active window is very large, over 20 frames, making him essentially invincible to highs and mids for a large chunk of time. He will also continue to parry subsequent hits if they come out fast enough. On a successful parry, he has 2 options. Either a punch button will result in a built-in counterattack, or you can do any move involving a kick. Like Jin's parry, he moves himself out of the way, he doesn't actually stop the attack, so although the built-in counter punches are very fast, they can be beat by a string with fast hits. Similarly, if you decide to try a kick move, it's possible that they'll recover in time to block or counter hit you. The Hermit parry is a bit simpler in that it's automatic. As long as you sit in Hermit, any lows that come your way will get parried. This parry does stun your opponent and you remain in Hermit. The most common follow-up is of course Hermit 4 1+2, his fastest follow-up, but essentially any of the Hermit moves are free. Also keep in mind that back 2 can be done in Hermit, giving you a parry option for every kind of move once you're in that stance. Finally, we talk about Hermit. The parries are an important starting point here. There isn't a power crush from Hermit, so you need these to expand your defensive options. Otherwise, if you go into Hermit with plus frames, example 1-2-4, it's a death sentence for them to hit buttons. Herm forward 1, Herm 2-1, Herm 1+2, and Herm 4 1+2 can all lead to big damage on counter hit, particularly if there's a wall. Those first 2 are also safe, although they are high. Hermit 4 is his fastest at I-11. Hermit 4 1+2 is a natural combo and will wall splat from pretty far out, so it's excellent cover considering how fast Hermit 4 recovers on block. Even if you don't have plus frames going into Hermit, Hermit back 4 is a high crushing homing low that launches on counter hit, and Hermit forward 4 is a low crushing mid launcher. Don't forget too that pressing down or up will cancel Hermit into a sidestep. For offense, keep in mind that Hermit isn't necessarily a mix-up stance. No Hermit move is plus on block, and there are only 2 lows. Hermit 3-4 only does 24 damage and is -15 on block, so not super scary if we think of it in risk versus reward terms. Instead, the goal with Hermit is to move you into a good standing position or to provoke a response. For instance, Hermit back 4 is +4 on hit, and Hermit 3-4 is neutral on hit, both being good situations for Leroy. If your opponent starts ducking, Hermit 4 1+2, Hermit 1+2, or Hermit 4/4 can all lead to nasty damage. You can also just not do anything and go back to neutral. The goal is to keep the pressure up and maintain a low risk versus reward. So that's going to end our part 2. As always, remember that Tekken characters have a lot of depth, so this is just to get you started. If you're a Leroy player, keep exploring and keep expanding your game. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I also have links to Twitch, Facebook, etc. in the description below, so be sure to check those out. Check out Twitch in particular because I only have one more week of school left, one final assignment due, and then I'm done. I've already been streaming more and I intend to continue that. And then of course, Patreon. Any consideration for that is greatly appreciated. Support there goes a really long way. Regardless, I appreciate you all. Thank you very much for watching and stay safe.